Advaita Shri Chaitanya Ishwara. Hare Krishna. We're reading from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we started reading chapter 20th, and I think we had read up to verse 10. So today we begin from text 11. तद्वर्षपुरुषः श्रुताधरः वीर्यधरः वसुन्धरे सन्धर समर्षिणा भागवन्तम् वेदमान् सोमम् आत्मनम् वेदेन यजन्ते हरि ओम्. Strictly following the cult of Varnashrama Dharma, the inhabitants of those islands, who are known as Shrutidharas, Viryadharas, Vasundharas, Ishandharas, all worship the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, named Soma, the moon god. We have started studying the structure of the Jambudvip, how their projections of the Jambudvip, Lakshadvip, Salmalidvip are concentric circles, the centermost being 100,000 yojanas, and then 200,000 yojanas, and so on. Then we were saying Lakshadweep is surrounded by the sugarcane juice ocean, and then comes Salmalidvip, where Garudaji resides, Salmalidvip, on the Salmali tree. The Salmali tree is 100 yojanas broad, 800 miles broad, and 1100 yojanas tall. So it's higher than Mount Everest, 2.5 times of Mount Everest, almost. Again, it was divided into 7 tracts of land, which were given to the 7 sons of Yajnabahu, Maharaj Deva's son. Then we are saying that, okay, just like in Lakshadweep, the sun god is worshipped, the Salmalidvip, moon god is worshipped. Soma. So let's read further. Next verse. Swagobhi Pitra Devebhyo Vibhajan Krishna Shuklayo Prajanam Sarva Samraja Andha Somona Astakiti. The inhabitants of Salmani Dweep worship the demigod of the moon in the following words. By his own rays, the moon god has divided the month into 2 fortnights known as Shukla and Krishna, for the distribution of food grains to the Pitas and the demigods. The demigod of the moon is he who divides time, and he is the king of all the residents of the universe. We therefore pray that he may remain our king and guide, and we offer him our respectful obeisances. Excellent. Evam Surudarvahis Tadvigunah Sumane Navrito Grito Dena Yatha Purva Ushakvi Kujashmi Kushastambo Deva Kritastam Vipakya Karo ज्वलन ईवापरः स्वसस्पारोचिषा दिशो विराजते. So Salmani Dweep is covered by the ocean of liquor. Outside this ocean of liquor is another island, which is known as Pusha Dweep. And now Salmani Dweep is 400,000 units. Wait, Pusha Dweep is 800,000 units, double of that. So twice as wide as the ocean of liquor. Twice as wide as the ocean of liquor. As Salmani Dweep is surrounded by liquor ocean, Kusha Dweep is surrounded by an ocean of liquid ghee, which is as broad as the island itself, liquid ghee. On Kusha Dweep, there are clumps of Kusha grass, from which the island takes its name. This Kusha grass, which was created by the demigods by the will of the Supreme Lord, appears like a second form of fire, but with very mild and pleasing flames. Its young shoots illuminate all directions. Purpose? From the descriptions in this verse, we can make an educated guess about the nature of the flames on the moon. Like the sun, the moon also must be full of flames because without flames, there cannot be illumination. The flames on the moon, however, unlike those on the sun, must be mild and pleasing. This is our conviction. The modern theory that the moon is full of dust is not accepted in the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. In regard to this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Shusha Shuklumala Shikaste Shamrojishaha. The Kusha grass illuminates all directions, but its flames are very mild and pleasing. This gives some idea of the flames existing on the moon. Next 14. Tadvipati Prayavrato Rajan Hiranyare Nam Swam Dvip Saptamya Swaputrebhyo Yatha Bhagam Vibhajya Swayam Tata Tishtata Ayuvasudan Tridharuchena Vibhukta Shrutyavata Vivikta Vamadeva Namapya. Okay, another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. Hiranyareta was the king of this island. He divided it into 7 parts, which he delivered to his 7 sons according to the rights of inheritance. The king then retired from family life to engage in austerities. The names of those sons are Vasu, Vasudana, Dridharji, Shrutavratya, Shrutyavrata, Navigupta, Vivikta, and Vamadeva. तेषां वर्षेषु सिंहगिरयो नादयश्चाविनतः सप्त सप्तैव चक्रास् चतुश्रेन्ध कपिलश्चित्रकूटो देवनीका ऊर्ध्वरोमा द्रविण इति रसाकुल्य मधुकुल्य मित्रवृन्द श्रुतवृन्द देवगर्भा घृत अच्युता मन्त्रमालेति. In those 7 islands, there are 7 boundary mountains known as Chakra, Chatushringa, Kapila, Chitrakuta, Devanika, Urdhvaroma, Dravinga, There are also seven rivers known as Ramakulya, Madhukulya, Mitravinda, Shrutavinda, Devagarbha, Yutachyuta, Mantramala. Yasampayo Kusha, Vipaukusha, Kushala Kovida, Yukta Kulakaha, Samachna Bhagavantam, Jatavedna, Sarupinam, Karma Kaushalena Yajate. The inhabitants of the silent of Kushadvipa are celebrated as the Kushalas, Kovidas, Abhiyuktas, Purakas. They are like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, respectively. By bathing in the waters of those rivers, they all become purified. They are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies according to the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Thus, they worship the Lord in his aspect of the demigod of fire. So, this is Kushalika. The Lord is worshipped as the demigod of fire. Text 17. Parasya Brahmana Saksha Shantavitosi Hakyava Devana Purushangana Yagnena Purusham Cheti. So who should we worship the fire god? For fire god, you are part of the supreme personality of Godhead Hari, and you carry to him all the offerings of sacrifice. Therefore, we request you to offer to the supreme personality gods. For the Lord is a real enjoyer. Purpose? The demigods are servants who assist the supreme personality of God. If one worships the demigods as servants of the supreme carry the sacrificial offerings to the Lord, like tax collectors collecting revenue from the citizens and bringing it to the government's treasury. The demigods cannot accept the sacrificial offerings. They simply carry the offerings to the supreme. Bhagavad Sadhu, since the Guru is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he carries to the Lord whatever is offered to him. Similarly, all the demigods, as faithful servants of the Supreme Lord, hand over to the Supreme Lord whatever is offered to them, sacrificial performances. There is no fault in worshipping the demigods with this understanding, but to think that the demigods are independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and equal to him is called Vipagyana, a loss of intelligence. Kamestasne Vipagyana. One who thinks that the demigods themselves are the actual benefactors is mistaken. We can see in this description of the various dweepas. So after the Jambudweep, Lakshadweep, Salmali Dweep, now the Kushadweep. Just opulence or facilitation is not sufficient for one to develop a fervor of spiritual substance or a spiritual fervor. It's not sufficient for one to develop a spiritual fervor. In one sense, we see everywhere in the Bhuloka, other than the Bharatvarsha, there are a lot of heavenly conditions all around. But what we are seeing is, now on one hand, Bharatvarsha, the life of people is not even 1,000 years. Other places in the Jambudvipa, the people's lives are 1,000 years. And they have heavenly bodies. Those descriptions we had read when we were studying Jambudvipa. But we see everywhere in Jambudvip the supreme personality of Godhead is very much in focus. Now, as we are going out of Jambudvip, we are seeing that some of them worshipping sun god, moon god, this is the fire god. But here it is mentioned they're worshipping fire god, understanding that either representative or carrier or a postal peon of the supreme god. And Prabhupada is saying such an understanding in worship is not a problem. The problem is when one thinks of the demigods as independent, when one thinks of the demigods as very conditioned. As long as they're thinking they're the postal peon is fine. When you start thinking they are the president and prime minister, then there is a problem. So that is called as lesser intelligence. Ramesh Dastar. But when we are reading prayers of moon god and sun god, we are not finding references to the supreme god. It's just moon god. Okay, please no, bestow auspicious upon us. But here they are giving a reference to the supreme god. That how all of you, fire god, you are supposed to take our yagric offerings and offer it to the supreme god. So this goes to show that it's not that if the material situations become a little better, more people can take the Krishna consciousness. It's not the case like that. Devotional service can be practiced in any condition by anyone, irrespective of the prerequisites. So therefore, we can see that The material situations neither create uh, a more favorable or not they do create a less favorable scene. So more important is how we interpret the scene. That is why it is the complete choice of the living entity. Because we can see, just like, say, for example, for some place there is an ocean of liquor, but people are still pious there. Is it not? They're worshipping the moon god. They're still pious, although it's an ocean of liquor. That doesn't mean that okay, degraded personalities are staying there. So who stays where? I don't know how they will be drinking water. Uh, Maybe boring, you know. The ocean will not be of much use. No, but then it has a boundary to the sugarcane also. But sugarcane is also, a little dangerous because it ferments and becomes thicker very fast. Wine it becomes. Sugarcane juice also little ferments and becomes wine. But Krishna has this amazing creation in which there are so many varieties which are manifest. So the Lord can manifest anything and everything in this material nature. So different places, different things are manifest. Just like we went to US, we saw that this uh, the trees there, in the particular season, they are all covered with red leaves. In India, we don't find that red leaves, red leaves, no red leaves. US is quite common. So Krishna wants to give. So now what people understand is that and the foolishness is what you see. Krishna gives different glimpses of his opulence in different places. So that is just a reflection. Krishna is giving a sample. Okay, you see this attractive. This is just a mere reflection and spark of my opulence. Why aren't you getting to me? But people take it otherwise. They feel here I can get this flavor, and there if I go I'll get that flavor, and there if I go I'll get the third flavor, and they keep roaming around here and there everywhere. That's not a point. So Krishna can give an oceanic supply of ghee if he wants. Is it not? But not that we become excited and say that okay, I will go and take a selfie there. No? So and I want to go and see where it is. That ocean of liquid ghee. And it will be very nice to see how waves will be coming in that. And uh, it will be very dangerous also. But catches fire, everything will be swallowed. Okay, no? He's inflammable, no? At least water will not catch fire, at least. But liquor, ghee, once and dangerous. Catches fire, everything, so everybody will say, okay, offer to the fire god. So when we hear this description, not that we become very much, this is not a tourism advertisement that the Lord is giving. See, Salmani Dev, see Plakshadev, see Kushadev. That's not the idea. The devotee says, oh, Krishna can do this also, that also, that also. Let me serve Krishna and worship Krishna. That's good enough. Everything the Lord wants, the Lord can supply. By the way, His Grace Bhaktivedanta Prabhu was telling us that in proper times, those days, the government used to supply them ghee and butter free. Ghee and butter free. Everything was cooked in pure ghee. Everything. Everything was cooked in pure ghee. There was so much ghee, but they were just drowning in that. So one is a devotee of Krishna. If Krishna wants, one doesn't have to go to Kusha to experience the small temple in Boston also the Lord can supply. Prabhu was telling, he was telling us figures also, how many barrels of ghee used to come like that. ISKCON temple, it is a religious organization the government is distributing for free. So those days, and for a very long time they enjoyed that. So yeah, they never tasted any sarso in life. It was all pure ghee, butter and ghee, like that. We just so very interesting. So Krishna wants Krishna can supply opulence anyway. But we leave it to Krishna. Huh? So definitely everywhere the Lord gives various glimpses of his super attractive power. The Lord has given the glimpse of the super attractive power. And we understand it's the vibhuti of the Supreme Lord. And uh, that should give us attraction towards the Supreme Lord. Now Krishna is designing the material world for the sake of the living entity. And still different places of the material world. Uh, a material world is a place that the Lord might have designed with the least heart. No? Still, it has different flavors and glimpses everywhere, which are because a person may not decorate the jail very nice, huh? But yeah, will the jail be having the same opulence as the president's house? Not. Jail is a jail. Or when a person is making his own palace, a person will not make the dustbin area very opulent. With Italian marble. Dustbin area. It's supposed to be, no? Right. Like we don't put Italian marble in the kitchen, no? We put some black stone there, so that cleaning can happen nice. Is it not? What to say of dustbin area? So, but if the dustbin area is looking so effulgent with so much opulence and glimpses of opulence, uh, we can just fathom or we can just imagine uh, how opulent the spiritual world will be, where everything is so fine. Here we see some of the other glimpses, but in the spiritual world, everything is so fine. How attractive and captivating the spiritual world will be. So only when we remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, opulence can be rightly utilized. So here there is a lot of offering. First of all, there's a very mild and pleasing fire because the kosha grass being present. And then there is some ample supply of ghee. So it's mild and it is not wild and it is very pleasing and it is a lot of ghee. And they are offering it to the Supreme Lord. So that is fortune. But the opulences go in vain if they are not offered to the Supreme Personality of God. The opulences will go in vain. So in fact, therefore, we can see one can see opulence as an opportunity or as an excuse or as a facility to be offered to Krishna. Opulence is an opportunity to make an offering to Krishna. Jai Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the presence of opulence is an opportunity to make a solid offering to Krishna. Therefore, a devotee never gets bewildered or intoxicated seeing opulence. Rather, a devotee uh, uh, sees opulence as a wonderful offering to Krishna. So that's the nature of a devotee. So if some devotee sees that, okay, today in Prasad, nice sweet has been made, then one should not become immediately excited. Ah, I did a feast. He'll enjoy. Very nice. No, that's not the right consciousness. Right guy, one says, oh, nice sweet. So there will be a good bhoga to the Lord today. And when the bhoga is offered to the Lord, then becomes Prasad. Now you can take. Consciousness should not be like that. Consciousness should be, okay, now the bhoga Mahaprasad is there. So very nice sweet Mahaprasad. Not like that. So So because this is extra mercy of the Lord, this extra mercy should be given to the extra new people, no? So that they can achieve the extra sweet flavor of the Lord. Is it not? Not that okay, Mahaprasad, no? uh, and immediately we grab onto that. No, one should say that okay, this is so nice. Let me distribute it to new people. They will feel very much grateful. And anyways, an extra mercy flavor of the Lord. So one should always see opulence in that setting, in that perspective. Otherwise, we tend to get intoxicated. So we should see opulences for the Lord and then opulences to attract the new people. They can be attracted to Krishna. Sai Krishna is up. And one should act in one's life as a distributor of that opulence of the Lord. So one should not become a bhogi of the opulence of Krishna. Rather, one should become a distributor of the opulence. One should not become the bhogi of the opulence. That okay, the Lord has been given very high-fi Mahaprasad, Mahabhoga, and then all the Mahaprasad meant for me. So, that is not a good idea. So opulences can act as embellishments in our offerings to Krishna. And if we see opulences in that way, we will not become intoxicated by those opulence. Opulence are at best embellishments. Because even when the opulence is not there, the devotee can still make his offering. Because Krishna values the topmost opulence which a bhakta has. That is the opulence of loving, love. loving devotion to Krishna. So Krishna only sees that. The devotee additionally wants to decorate it further. So if the devotee happens to get opulences, then he can decorate it further. But the prime decoration is Krishna looking for is that. Is it heartfelt with love? Like rainwater falls on the ground, then it can lead to germination, new crops can come. Then it is effective and it is uh, then the rainwater is of some good use. The same rainwater, if it falls on a rock, it won't lead to anything. Will it? On a rock, it won't lead to anything. So our heart should be like a fertile ground. See, Mother Earth grows many nice. Mother Earth doesn't sit down and start eating themselves, herself. That, oh, this is for me. I will not give. No, mango, though I'll keep it myself. No, I will not give mango. No, Karela maybe I can distribute. No, mango I will not distribute. Mother Earth doesn't have any algorithms like that. Uh, this for me, this is not so palatable. This I can distribute. No? So not like that. Mother Earth is growing in a variety, very beautiful, very ecstatic, and distributing it all. She only becomes disheartened when her offerings are not used for Krishna service. Then only she becomes disheartened and angry. Otherwise, she has a heart to serve. So there should be a devotee's consciousness also. Okay, let's read further. तथा गृहोदार गृहतोदार वही क्रौंच द्वीपो जीवन सुमाने शिरुदे परिता उपकृतो कृतो यथा कुशद्वीपो कृतो दे तस्मिन् क्रौञ्च नाम पर्वतराज द्वीपना निर्वर्तका अस्ते. Further is the ocean of clarified butter. Or no, ghee, butter. So this there is another island, it is known as Kroncha Dweep, and its width is 1600,000 yojanas, twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kusha Dweep is surrounded by an ocean of clarified butter, Kroncha Dweep is surrounded by the ocean of milk, as broad as the island itself. But Kroncha Dweep, there is a great mountain known as Kroncha, from which the island takes its name. So clarified butter comes, and then milk comes. If you see, Priyavrat Maharaj only made 7 depressions with the wheels of his chariot. The Lord had made converted that into ocean. You know? So this is Krishna's. Uh, Besides that, the Priyavrat Maharaj chariots only made groups. So those groups are converted into ocean by the Supreme. And see, Lord has put various nice things. Somewhere butter, somewhere milk. We can see one more thing here in all these descriptions in all the islands, there is a very fixed pattern which is there. Every island is divided into so every, you know, uh, has 7 sons, and they divide their island into 7 parts. Then there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers in each of them, like that. See, this goes to show that Krishna's facilitation is very systematic. Irregularities arise only because of our atheistic nature. Because Krishna's supply is very, very regular. See, 7 mountains, 7 rivers, 7 suns, you know. So, so irregularities always come because of atheistic nature. When the civilization is atheistic, then only irregularities come. The civilization is devoted to the Lord, then everything is very systematic and regular. Like it is explained in the Vedic times, people will not die at irregular death. They will only die in the old age. People will not face any inconvenience because of Mother Nature. It is said in Vedic times it would never rain in the daytime. It will only always rain in the night. When people are sleeping, it's a good time to rain. Hmm? It will be very specific and regulated. So, Krishna consciousness is the way to dissolve all irregularities, whether on an individual anthropological scale or on a social scale, or on a global scale or the cosmic scale. All the irregularities and anomalies can be mitigated by the sincere practice of Krishna consciousness. So we see we don't have to ask the Lord, Array, give interior designing like this, like that. The Lord is himself giving the best. So this is the nature of Krishna. Let's read further. Yosau Purna Praharanonmatita Nitam Punjo Shiruden Shikshemano Bhagavata Varuna Vibhukto Ayo Bahuva. Although the vegetables living on the slopes of the Mount Kroncha were attacked and devastated by the weapons of Kartikeya, the mountain has become fearless because it is always bathed on all sides by the ocean of milk and protected by Varun Dev. तस्मिन्नपि प्रियव्रतो क्रेता पृष्ठो नामधिपति स्वे द्वीपे वर्षाणि सप्त विभाज्य तेषु पुत्र नामाशु सप्त रिक्थादान् वर्षपान् निवेश्य स्वयं भगवान् भगवतः परम कल्याण यशसा भूतस्य हरेर्चरणारविन्दम् Upajagama. The ruler of this island was another son of Maharaj Priyavrata. His name was Gridhaprishta, and he was a very learned scholar. He also divided his own island among his seven sons. After dividing the island in seven parts and named according to the names of the sun, Gridhaprishta. The sons are Gridhaprishta. Okay, so after dividing according to the names of the sons, the Gridhaprishta Maharaj completely retired from family life and took shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, the soul of all souls, who has all auspicious qualities. So thus he attained perfection. Text 21. Amo madhurupo Gridhaprishta Sudama Rajishtu Lohitar Vanaspati Gridhaprishta Varshagiraya Saptasattvaiva Nathashabhi शुक्लो वर्धमानुभोजन स्वबर्हीननन्तरं सर्वतो भद्रा इति अभय अमृतोगा अरयका तीर्थवती रूपवती पवित्रवती शुक्लेति. The sons of Maharaj Gridhaprishta were named Ama, Madhuruha, Meghaprishta, Sudama, Rajishta, Lohitarana, and Vanaspati. In their island, there are seven mountains, which indicate the boundaries of the seven tracts of land, and the seven rivers. It is very systematic. The Lord has already created boundaries for the circles. So, you don't have to fight. Na? Krishna has already demarcated. The, the mountains are named Shukla, Vardhamana, Bhojana, Pavarhina, Nandana, Nandanandana, Sarvato Bhadra. The rivers Abhaya, Amritogha, Aryaka, Tirthavati, Rupavati, Pavitravati, Shukla. Text 22. Yasamam Pavitramamalam Upayunjanaha Purusharisham Navina का समझ वर्ष पुरुषापोमयं देवमा पूर्णेनाञ्जलेन यजन्ते. The inhabitants of the Krancha Dweep are divided into four castes called the Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas, and Devatas. Using the waters of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Apomayaha Asmayam. With joint palms, the inhabitants of the various sections of Puranchadvipa offer the sanctified waters of the rivers to a deity made of stone or iron. So they are worshipping the Varun Dev. In a street further. Apapurusha Vidyastha Apir Bhurbhuvaswaha Tanaha Punitamiva Grahani Sprishatamatmana Bhuva iti. The inhabitants of the Granchadweep worship with this mantra. O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, you purify all the three planetary systems known as Bhuluka, Bhuvarloka, Svargaloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins. That is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. It says here, by your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.4, Bhumi apana lobhai kam mano buddhirevacha ahankaraiti yamme vinna prakriti rashtra. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and policy. Altogether, these eight comprise my material separated energies. The energy of the Lord acts throughout the creation. Just as heat and light, the energy of the sun, act within the universe and make everything work. The specific rivers mentioned in the Shastras are also energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and people who regularly bathe in them are purified. It can actually be seen that many people are cured of diseases simply by bathing in the Ganges. Similarly, the inhabitants of Krancha, they purify themselves in bathing. Okay, let's read further. Next 24. एवं पुरस्तात् शिरोदात् परितः उपवेशितः सखाद्वीपो द्वात्रिंशात् लक्षयोजनायमान समानेन सदति मन्दो येन परित्यो परितो यस्मिन् साधु नाम महिरुषः महिरुह सुक्षेत्र व्यपदे शको यस्य महासुरभिगन्धस्त्वं द्वीपम् अनुवसायति outside the ocean of milk there is another island named Sakadweep which has a width of 3200 thousand yojanas. As Kranchadweep is surrounded by its own ocean of milk, Sakadweep is surrounded by an ocean of churned yogurt as broad as the island itself. So in Sakadweep there is a big Saka tree from which the island takes its name. The tree is very fragrant and indeed it lends its scent to the entire island. So the master of this island, also one of the sons of Priyavrata, was known as Medhatithi. He also divided his island into 7 sections, named according to the names of his own sons, whom he made the kings of that island. So the names of those sons are Puruvacha, Manjavacha, Pavamana, Dhumranika, Chitrarefa, Bahurupa Vishwadhara. After dividing the island and situating his sons as his rulers, Medaditi personally retired and fixed his mind upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He entered a forest suitable for meditation. Hmm. So this is Medaditi in Sakadweep, where there is a Saka tree. Next 26. एतेषां वर्षमर्यादगिरियो नाद्यस्य सप्तैव ईशना कुरुशृङ्गो बलभद्रा शतकेशरा सहस्राश्रुतो देवपालो महानास इति उभाय यस्पृति अपराजिता पंचपाति सहस्राश्रुति निजरतीरति For these lands also, there are seven boundary mountains and seven rivers. So the mountains are called as Ishana, Urusinga, Balabhadra, Satakesara, Sahasrasra, Devapala. The rivers are Anaga, Deha, Ubhaya, Sprishti, Aparajita, Panchapati, Sahasrashruti, Nijadriti. So the inhabitants of those islands are also divided into four castes: Ritavrata, Satyavrata, Danavrata, and Anuvrata. Yeah. So these four castes, Ritavrata, Satyavrata, Danavrata, and Anuvrata, they resemble Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They practice pranayama and mystic yoga, and in trance, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu. Anta pravisya bhutani यो विवादते आत्मकेतुः अंतर्यामीश्वरः साक्षात् पतु नो यद वसे सुतम्. The inhabitants of Sakadweep worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu, the following words. O Supreme Person situated as a super soul within the body. O Supreme Person situated as a super soul within the body. You direct the various actions of the different airs, such as prana, and thus you maintain all living entities. O Lord, O super soul of everyone, O controller of this cosmic manifestation, under whom everything exists, may you protect us from all the dangers. Perfect. Through the mystic yoga practice called pranayama, the yogi controls the air within the body to maintain the body in a healthy condition. In this way, the yogi comes to the point of trance. It tries to see the supersoul within the core of his heart. Pranayama is the means to attain samadhi, trance, in order to fulfill, fully absorb. In order to fully absorb oneself, it's seen the Supreme Lord as Antaryami, super soul within the core of the heart. Yeah. Just like an Ashtanga yogi works very, very hard to create settings in such a way that when the dharana, dhyan, samadhi occurs, it remains very much fixed. It doesn't go down the drain. So they have to focus on a lot of external factors, give the mind and senses in control, to keep the life here in control. That's why it's being sent here that pranayam is a precursor to samadhi. Because the pranayam one can control the mind and thoughts. So therefore one has space for focusing, progressing towards samadhi. Hey, now I'm saying bhakti, where do we work hard and what do we work hard? In bhakti also, we are very, very careful that whatever spiritual inputs we are getting, whatever spiritual inputs we are getting, we're very, very careful that that they get preserved also. Whatever realizations we are getting, they get preserved also. But we will see the beauty of bhakti is that all these preservatory activities in bhakti, you will see, uh, they are very much an integral part of bhakti. They are not extraneous arrangements. So we see how we preserve realization. We preserve realization by sharing them. So we preserve and focus on Krishna by staying in the association of devotees, by surrounding ourselves in the association of devotees. We are preserving. So we see in that sense the process of bhakti is a great benediction by the Lord. That we extraneous don't have to arrange for one factor. Rather, the various limbs of bhakti themselves actually create this kind of a protective atmosphere. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada explains that a devotee obtains perfect mind control. How? By making one's life so busy in Krishna service that there is no space for Maya to penetrate. So there are two ways in which Maya cannot penetrate. One is if we are such a great fighter that we can fight with Maya, knock her out. One possibility. Other way is one just makes oneself so busy in service to Krishna that one doesn't have time to read Maya's proposals. Like those phases of life when we have so much service, there is no time to look into who has sent what WhatsApp message and what social media message. That is very possible. That's how Maya cannot communicate. Huh? So like that. That's why Prabhupada say that the devotee should fill one's life, make one's life very, very busy with service. And that way one will be protected. Prabhupada said one should be so busy and one should serve Krishna so much every single day. At night, as soon as one lies down, immediately one is gone. Immediately one is finished. And Prabhupada said to lie down, not getting sleep, that is not serve Krishna sufficient. Therefore, no sleep is coming. Either the body should be so much tired, so that Krishna one lies down, one is finished. Only to get up at 3 o'clock the next day morning for the Mangalarti, like that. So that's a beautiful way of thinking of mind. So we see that all these processes, all the limbs and the essential principles which need to be there in creating and maintaining a fertile ground. So where the bhakti lata grows, all those principles are there, but these principles are furnished in a very unique, sweet way when it comes to bhakti. But in the process of Ashtanga Yoga, person has to climb Mount Everest forever. To get the realization and not the body and the soul, also Mount Everest is required. To get a handle of the air so that mind can little bit control, again Mount Everest is required. To completely develop application for uh, abhorrence towards the material desires, again Mount Everest is required. For everything, Mount Everest is required. But in the case of a devotee, it is uh, so the problem is climbing Mount Everest every now and then is what? Mount Everest is very steeply, slopey, everything. If one slips up, one is finished. But in Bhakti, it is very sweet and it is foolproof. Because the devotee is completely dependent on Krishna. Krishna is the nature of the devotee is completely dependent on Krishna. And Lord Krishna has the nature of drowning the devotee in an ocean of sweetness. Like that. Like the parents never let the children realize the hardship that they have to undergo. to furnish everything in the house. They never make the children realize. And the children grow up on their own and then they try to set up a family or a household. Then they realize how difficult. A lot of sacrifices are involved. In the same way, Krishna never lets his devotee realize. But the path of Ashtanga is on one's own. So all grunts the jiva has to face oneself. Bhakti is uniquely, very, very uniquely and amazingly sweet in that sense. Okay, let's read one more verse and then we'll start. But you will start now by that time. So here the inhabitants of the Sakadweep are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu with the following words. So it seems that all of them are worshipping through the demigod, the Supreme Personality of God. O Supreme Person situated in the Super Soul within the body, you direct the various actions of the different airs such as prana, and thus you maintain all the living entities. O Lord, the Super Soul of everyone, O controller of the cosmic manifestation under whom everything exists, may you protect us from all dangers. So in the same way, the devotee also offers prayer to Krishna for protection. But what will the devotee say? Always protect my consciousness that I may never forget it. So that, that ominous moment should never come that I forget you, Krishna. That's how the devotee always asks. एवम् एव दधिमन्दो दत्परतः पुष्करद्वीपस्ततो द्विगुणयमः समन्तता उपकल्पिता समानेन स्वादुदकेन समुद्रेण गतिम् आवृतो यस्मिन् बृहत् पुष्करं ज्वलन् शिखमालः कनकपत्रयुतयुतं भागवतः कमलासना स्याद्यासनं परिकल्पितम्. Outside the ocean of yogurt is another island known as Pushkara Dvipa. Now, this is 6,400,000 yojanas wide, twice as wide as the ocean of yogurt. It is surrounded by an ocean of very tasteful water as broad as the island itself. So Pushkara Dvipa, there is a great lotus flower with wow, how many golden petals? It's 100 million. 100 billion, 100 million. It's not 1 billion, no? It's less than 1 billion. 1/10 of a billion. Yeah, it's 0.1 billion. No? Pure golden petals, as effulgent as the flames of fire. So that lotus flower is considered the sitting place of Lord Brahma, who is the most powerful living being and who is therefore sometimes called as Bhagavan. Very powerful golden petals. Very powerful golden petals. तद्विभवते मनसोत्तरानामेक एवर्गचीन प्राचीन वर्षयोर्हरियदच्युतम् अच्युता योजनोच्छ्रय यमो यत्रतो चतर्षु दिक्षु चास्वरे पुराणि लोकपालन इन्द्रादिनं यत् उपरिष्टत् सूर्य रथस्य मेरु परिभ्रमतः संवत्सरात्मकां चक्रं भगवद् की जय देवना अहोरात्राभ्यां परिभ्रमति. In the middle of that island is a great mountain called as Manasottara, which forms a boundary between the inner side and the outer side of the island. Its breadth and height are 10,000 yojanas. mountain. On that mountain, the four directions are four residential quarters of demigods, such as Indra, the chariot of the sun god. The sun travels atop the mountain in an orbit called as Samvatsara, encircling Mount Meru. The sun's planet on the northern side is called Uttarayan, and its path on the southern side is called Dakshinayan. One side represents the day for the demigod, the other side represents the night. The movement of the sun is confirmed in Brahma Samhita. The sun orbits around Mount Sumeru for 6 months on the northern side and for 6 months on the southern. This adds up to the duration of a day and night. Okay, so I believe we'll stop here for today. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Mother Amy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Mother Nancy. Mother Nancy, here to join us. Mother Amy, Devahuti is going to join in 2-3 minutes, and she will continue further.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Bol. Huh?
Hare Bol.
Where is your
What do you
How
like?
is your health, Mother?
headphones? Okay.
Did he say something to us?
So, Mother Amy, how is your health now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad. I don't know if David Hutton told you, but I was having migraines from the extra electricity from my spinal stimulator, but it seems to have evened out. So good things. Good day. Life is good. It's a good day to be alive.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking. And how are you?
Krishna give you good health so that you can go on practicing and marching ahead in spiritual life.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And how are
Hare
you
Krishna.
doing?
We are doing good, Mother Amy.
Good. This is Sunshine. I don't know if you've met her.
Hare Krishna.
She likes listening. She likes listening to the chanting. She likes listening. She's learning too.
That's the headphones.
Hare Krishna.
Let's see. Can you move your tail for a sec, Sunshine? I gotta see if there's a headphone thing right here. Let's see. There's another